Have you ever heard the saying, favor may fill your hands, but character fills your home? Let me tell you a story from the quiet green town of Buduma that brings this to life. It's about a famous hunter named Flomo whose arrows never missed. Flomo had two wives, Mary, the beloved, and Betty, the one everyone overlooked. It was no secret who Flomo favored. Mary wore the finest clothes and ate the best cuts of meat from every hunt. The tender flesh, the rich organs all went to her. Betty, on the other hand, received only the scraps, the intestines, the parts no one else wanted. But Betty never once complained. She greeted every small portion with wisdom and gratitude. She seasoned what she had with pepper, spices, and love, drying the entrails and saving everything in a secret attic corner. She knew lean months were always on the horizon. Mary was the exact opposite. She was extravagant and carefree, convinced the good times would last forever. She cooked heavily, ate heavily, and wasted heavily. So, when the hunger season arrived before the new harvest, her storeroom was empty. And what did she have? Nothing but excuses. This is when Betty quietly opened her attic store, feeding the entire household little by little. Mary was deeply embarrassed. The village whispered about how the beloved wife of the great hunter had no food, while the neglected Betty always had enough. Mary's shame turned to envy, and her envy turned to cunning. One night, she crept into Betty's attic and stole a handful of dried entrails. She returned the next week, then the next, whenever hunger gnawed at her. She'd wipe her mouth clean, and if anyone noticed something sweet smelling on her lips, she'd lie, claiming it was pepper sauce for nausea. After all, when meat went missing, everyone blamed the rats and cats. But Betty was clever. She saw her savings slowly disappearing, and when it threatened her own children's meals, she sought help. She visited an old country doctor, a man known for his protective charms. The healer listened, mixed some powders and herbs, and handed her a charm. Spread this around the mouth of your basket, he said. Whoever puts their hand inside with a wicked heart, the basket will not let go. Betty did exactly as she was told. That very night, Mary tiptoed into the attic again. She plunged her hand into the basket, and instantly it snapped shut on her wrist like the jaws of a beast. She yanked, she twisted, she kicked, but the basket held firm. After hours of struggling in the dark, her pride finally broke, and she let out a loud wail. Flomo bolted awake. The children sat up, neighbors lit their lanterns and ran to see what had happened to the great hunter's beloved wife. And there she was on the attic floor, her hand swallowed by the stubborn basket, tears streaming down. Her face. The next morning, the country doctor was called to release her, but her shame couldn't be so easily undone. The charm had done more than catch a thief. It had unmasked a person. As punishment, Mary and Flomo had to pay 60 cups of rice, a goat, and 5 gallons of palm oil. Then Mary was made to stand in the center of town from sunrise to sunset, begging for forgiveness. Her voice cracked as she promised never to steal again. Some people pitied her. Many did not, but everyone remembered to this very day, long after Flomo's arrows have rusted. Mothers in Buduma still tell their children the story of Mary, the favored wife who stole scraps, and Betty, the quiet woman whose wisdom fed a village. Because they all know the truth in those words. Favor may fill your hands, but it's character that truly fills your home. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tales from around the world.